Education, Laurie Kilmartin.
I forgot about our podcast.
I know it's a little late on a Sunday night for us to be scrambling. I thought about texting the team yesterday, and then I thought, nope. I'm a little.
Sometimes you don't want to think about it just yet.
I get a little bit of ennui, even though I've done a bunch of sets, and I'm looking forward to doing a bunch of sets this week.
Yeah.
But I was just telling Kyle that this, it turns out, is my life. This.
Yeah.
I mean, here's what I will say is that the people who stopped doing stand-up back in March,
right,
that essentially they're like, just going to wait, just going to start doing stand-up when we get to do stand-up again. And I was like, well, we don't know how long it's going to be. It's like, just wait. We're just going to wait till we get to do brick and mortar. Going to everybody stand around. And I was like, yeah, but then we won't get to. And so I've been doing stand-up, as of you, for 10 months in this lateral move. And it's the same people saying that this still isn't real. And I was like, did you never fucking do one-nighters?
I know. These are not the worst gigs we've ever had by far.
By far. Yeah. And these people, I mean, it's never an accident. Even the trolls have to work to get into these things. Like, just remember how many people just wandered in on a Friday night and were like, oh, fuck, it's a woman. Oh, right. I was hoping that it was going to be meaner. Oh, I'm too drunk to even watch anything at all, ever.
Yeah.
At least you can mute them. And I'm not saying I want 220. I want 220 all breathing the same air, hot. You know, They all just came from eating wings. Just fucking.
I'll snort their aerosols. I don't care anymore. I'm over. You know what? I've done worse. When my son was constipated, I had to stick my finger up his asshole and pull shit out. So what am I worried about breathing other people? You know what? Before science, before the last 50 years, we didn't know we were breathing aerosols from other people, right? Because we existed without that imagery.
I'll talk about imagery. Let's unpack you sticking your finger up your son's butt. Tell me he was 3.
I think he was 2 or 3. Yeah, it wasn't like, it's not in the last year for sure.
That's what I'm like, you couldn't even reach his butt. Kid's like 6'4" now. And yeah,
I'd have to get on his lap.
On a step stool. Anyway, it's gross.
Yeah.
I agree. I just came from doing
thinking about my son's ass. Now
let's do it.
What else?
I just came from doing Beth Lapidus's Uncab.
Oh, how'd it go?
It was fun. It was super fun. She had 180 people there.
What the fuck?
Right. She's only doing them every couple of months, I guess, or once a month or something. Wow. So get in on that if you want to see. And get this. She's got all the musicians. Like she always has musicians, right?
Yeah.
They're all doing solo stuff.
Oh, cool.
Like Lewis, God dang it. I posted it on my Instagram. I have such a crush on his saxophone playing, man. This he plays with Kool and the Gang. He's a road guy. He's a studio guy. Yeah. And he's an amazing saxophone player.
He's like the comic of musicians, right?
Oh, he's so good.
Wow,
cool. But the weirdest thing was Beth Lapidus said, she was talking about how she was cooking, and she's like, I don't know why. She said something like this. I don't know why I bother cooking when I could just eat sauteed onions. And I was like, are you French living in the 1400s? What just happened?
That is so strange that I can't understand it.
I love sauteed onions, but on things with other
Excuse me, sauteing is cooking. What do you mean? You're going out of your way. You're cutting onions and putting them on a stove. That's work.
Right? You're like, this is not opening saltines and putting butter on it.
No.
This is more than this. Yes.
If someone would make saltines that were pre-buttered.
Saltines are buttery.
But they don't have butter on top. I mean, you have to spread it. That's an extra, layer. That's an extra step and a little bit of extra work.
I'm not dying on that hill. You get that one. What else?
I headlined at Flappers on Friday. Yeah. That was fun. I had like about 40, 45 people.
Nice.
And they said that was pretty good, you know, for what's happening now, which is everyone's tired of comedy. And you know, whatever, people, a lot of shows are free, so to get people to pay $10 is something.
It's real. And
Yeah.
did
And so,
Brandy Posey pick up a
yeah, she did. Yeah,
feature?
Brandy opened and Amanda Cohen emceed. It was a really very strong show. Very
Did
strong
she do
show.
that thing where she holds her boob? Did she do that joke?
Did she? No, she put her hand in the garbage disposal, which was terrifying for me.
Oh my
It's
god, that safety mouse.
The new closer.
That's her new closer.
It's a Zoom only closer. You know what? You might as well make use of your surroundings. That's what I say.
Zoom only.
You can't bring that on stage.
That is true.
But I think I have about 40 minutes that's mostly during the pandemic, written during the pandemic, or was not on my album. So I think I have like 40, you know.
Oh, that's great.
38 to 42, depending on the audience, right? I
Right.
mean, I'm also just a talking head on a computer, so I'm going rat-a-tat-tat-tat. You know, I'm not physicalizing anything. That takes up time, and it also changes.
It could be an hour
It could be.
in
I don't
real
know.
life. Yeah.
When will I find out what it is? And I don't even know if I, you know, if what the right order is and all that stuff. It's just really, you know, it's hard to tell with Zoom.
Welcome to my hell.
Right.
It's today I did the Sunday show. I did about 20 minutes. I
Yeah.
decided to work on they're all mixed up now. Now I'm just doing essentially I'm pulling different I'm like, oh, that was a fun mishmash of all the jokes that I like right now of these 20 minutes. And I was like, why don't I work on this other thing? And I did work on one small chunk. I have a couple of new bits that were pretty good. And, but it was a great one. Ophira Eisenberg, Jenny Yang, Danielle Perez, Tommy Ryman, and a new kid, except for that she was great. The thing is, she might have been a comic of the week already.
Oh,
Because she seems vaguely familiar. All I know is that I was psyched when she did stand up. I was like, oh, good. And,
Did she just pop onto your show? You seem surprised, even though it's your show and you.
Well, no, I gave, I'm giving people I can't remember because my brain is a sieve, 5 to 7. So she emailed me and she was like, hey, can I get a set? And I was like, yeah. And so I have a running list of people and they're on the thing. Amanda Cohen's going to do next week. Cool. So but it was Macy Isaacs. Has she been?
I don't think so.
Well, she was very funny. And
Okay.
we could put her on the list to be a comic of the week because she was a
pre-list.
delight.
Yes.
Yeah. The existing list as long as our arm, because there are plenty of great comics out there to be a comic of the week eventually.
Yes, there are. Yeah. What else was I gonna wait? I listened to, so I got a cut from my album.
Oh,
and it's
from
all from the
800?
same show. It's
Yeah.
a Saturday First show. And there's like, I'm like, I know there's better versions of some of these jokes, which means I got to listen to all 5 shows now, which is what I've been avoiding for a year and a half. So
did you want to tell me this story with your forehead or?
No one's looking. Who's watching these fucking videos? Nobody.
There are people that are on YouTube watching the videos, and on
Well,
Patreon
you know
they get
what?
it the day before. So
That's their problem.
So I will say that
this is the most poorly shot video in the history of cinema, and I won't apologize for leaning forward so my back doesn't hurt as much.
okay, no sweat. But I will say that now you know my pain. So I've been giving away for the last 10 months. I just haven't posted my DVD. I ripped it to YouTube, the Horcrux video, the last time I shot something. So I was watching it, looking for other clips to thing, and I was like, oh, that's been tighter. Shit.
Right.
There's nothing I can do about the album that came out almost 7 years ago and is 3 albums ago or 2 albums ago. So
Yeah.
but it is genuinely painful where I just want to go, who wants to
Who wants to do it for you for money?
yeah.
Yeah. I imagine about 100 features just tried to email you. Just here's the thing, like an album is always disappointing because it never sounds like how it felt when you were performing. And so it's like a photocopy of stand-up comedy. And, it's like, I guess, it should get it out there because you're not doing the material anymore, but it doesn't, it doesn't excite me. Not a single album I've listened to of mine excites me. It doesn't feel like the set, and it doesn't feel as fun as it felt to be in the room at the Punchline in San Francisco that night or those nights and stuff. And it never does.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because the question is what about other people's albums? Like if you're or watching other people stand up. I mean, I think you're completely right about our own work, right? You look at it and you go, this doesn't feel, though I can get glimpses of it in the Horcrux album. It's a good album. It's a good video. It's a good, and the video has 10 more minutes in it. But, so I get glimpses of it, but it doesn't have that vibe. So I get what you're saying. But when I listen to someone else's album,
yeah, I
can somehow, I feel the wave.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess. Yeah. But, it just.
So that's good for the consumer is what I'm saying, I guess.
Sure. I'm all about the consumers. So thank you for reminding me.
It can't hurt to remind people to continue to buy comedy albums, even though we just said it doesn't have the same vibe. So get on it anyway. Give somebody $10. So.
Yeah. Adrian Appalucci has a new album out. I forget what it's called. Probably the word baby and kill is in it, just knowing Adrian, but if not in the title, definitely in a couple jokes.
That's cool. I just did a bunch of dork forests. I think the next one is Orlando Leyba, who has a new special out on HBO Max, or I think an old special that they repurposed for HBO Max, and which made me want to go, who bought that?
I got an old special.
Is there? I have.
Wait, I don't know this person. Is this
Orlando?
Yeah.
Yeah. The name of his album and the name of his special is Adorable, and he is a Florida comic.
Yeah.
And somebody, I think I posted something about it, so somebody said they watched it. I haven't watched it. You know how I have a hard time watching other people's, but yeah.
I may have done Team Coco's Comedy House with him a couple months ago.
You may.
It was in that warehouse in Burbank where
right.
We all went in one at a time, and I still got really paranoid afterwards. You had to get tested ahead of time.
Yeah.
We all know that prevents.
Right, if you get
tested before your show prevents you from getting COVID. That's the great thing.
It's my dad got the first. Did I tell you this? Did that happen last week? I don't think it did. But my dad got the first shot.
That's cool.
And he was so funny about it because he goes, "It was Pfizer, that's the good one." And I was like, "I think they're both okay, Dad." He said, "Yeah, but Pfizer invented Viagra."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, but that was a mistake." And then there was a lot of awkward pauses. And I finally said, "Let's never discuss hard-ons." And he said, "Agreed."
I think Viagra wasn't a mistake, was it? Or was it an accident in the lab?
It was an accident in the lab. They were trying to make something else and they made that. And now they're boners.
It's a happy accident.
Dead. That's what I said to him.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I was talking about boners with my dad. And I was like, undo.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Kyle's watching WandaVision, but when I think of undo, I think of rewinding. Right, you aren't watching it, are you?
I am not yet. I've been holding off. I've been living in the Stan show, so I have something after that with WandaVision.
Okay, fair enough.
One at a time.
I think I'm almost done with the Fran Lebowitz series, and she had a whole series about books that was kind of awesome. And
she had a different series on.
An episode about books.
An episode. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to sit down. I'm tired. I this week more than ever in years, I've thought about getting breast reduction. I'm just like, I don't want this anymore. Either of them.
Right. I would suggest you also possibly invest in a new bra. It's a sign that you need a new bra.
No, it isn't. I have a new bra.
Do
They
you?
dig in. I'm tired of my shoulders being dug into, and I also think I've had back pain for so long, like my upper back. I'm just sort of used to it, and you know how you just kind of you just go, oh, that's how backs feel.
Mhm.
And maybe they're not supposed to. Maybe I'm not supposed to always be like trying to like massage my upper back, you know?
Maybe it's and I mean, and if you're not using them, you might as well get rid of them.
Your breasts? Yes.
yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I
I mean, people
don't use
like them. Yeah.
Not the way that you do.
We just in a cohab. I recommend you touch them yourself. And again, this reminds me of me talking to my dad. So this is an awkward conversation.
But you'd still, it's not a mastectomy, Jackie. It's a reduction. It's
I know,
a
but you
different-
do lose sensitivity once they start taking your nipples off and sucking stuff out and putting them back on.
They sometimes,
Yeah.
but you know, I have other areas that are sensitive, so that's okay. I can lose that.
It's wandering around going, is this a place? Is this a place? Sure. It's
Right now,
it's
I
not,
have back sensitivity, and also you got to be tired of this too. Those bra straps just like
I have
clinging
divots in
into
my
your
fucking
shoulders.
shoulders. I think I need a new bra is where I'm at. It's, that's what it is. Because
Yes.
because it digs into your shoulders. And hello and welcome to Boob Talk. My name is Jackie Cation, and you've been listening for 5 years while Lori and I discuss
Wow.
what we might do.
Jackie got self-conscious about a female topic. We must be 80s comics. Jackie, don't say period. Don't.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
Other than that, I got a
applied
couple
for-
of sets at Gotham this week upcoming.
Oh, I got to email that guy. He emailed me.
Yeah,
Thank
email
you for
that guy.
reminding me. Bye.
There's Gotham work. They're doing Zoom shows. I want to do all the New York shows. Any New York comics who are listening, please. I'm just here in my fucking garage. I would love to do what I don't care about time zones. What do I care? Please.
No, and you know what? I did Tristan's show in Belgium last week.
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
Super fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of Brexit jokes, and I'm like, this is what I want to hear. Like, no American comics talk about it, but I'm always up when UK Twitter starts complaining about Brexit. So I'm slightly obsessed with it, and I wish more comics would talk about it. So that was nice.
Outstanding. Well done. It's I had a new bit today that I was pretty psyched about. And it's one of those bits that's one of those, like, people are like, oh, that's nice. And then it has a nice twist at the end.
Yeah.
And I have to figure out a way, by the way, it's, I want people just to take notes during my set, whatever they want to tell me about afterwards. They got tags for me. They want to riff.
Yeah.
That's great. I just wish I could turn the chat off during my set. So it
Oh,
didn't
that
pop
is
up.
it's so annoying. Yes.
It's hard to concentrate. I get lost in the middle of my act.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not happy about
You
it.
know what? And when you're doing your Sunday shows, you know, everyone knows why we're there because you're working shit out. You could hand them a set list, and they could, if they wanted to, make their little notes on a set list and get it back to you.
Right. Maybe I'll set up an extra camera with the set list on it. And then people can later say, hey, you skipped this one. I was like, yeah, got a little distracted because Ben was getting stoned again. And or whatever. It was just,
Yeah.
it was a good turnout though, which is kind of nice
many?
because it was 55, 50.
That's great.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That's
so it's good.
amazing.
Then I can give people a couple of bucks, and I can make a couple of bucks, and I'm grinding it out, and so, I swear to God, I was one of the setup for the new bit is just true, which is that when we go back to going on the road, I can't wait to go back on the road. I want to do it. I need to do it. I want to go back. You know, blah blah. But I'm gonna be like a toddler going to preschool, sobbing. I want to go in and play with all the toys, but I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave.
Yeah, your house is pretty sweet now, and you're hanging out with your man, and you like it.
Right. I'm gonna miss him. I'm just, do you want to start traveling with me? And he's like, no, this is what I was made for. And he's gonna invite people over to our garage and have awesome game days in this circle of, that we got a nice round table. And
maybe we'll be transitioning to Friday, Saturday weeks instead of Wednesday through Sunday or whatever.
Right.
You know?
So I did the Acme show for Pete Lee.
Right.
Because Pete was there doing a live show because Minneapolis has live shows.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing is because I did one Thursday and then I did one Friday. And so the MC does his set. Nice young man named Nate.
MC is live.
MC's live, features live, Pete's live. I'm zooming in.
Okay.
So it just fucks with the timing of the whole show.
Yes.
Right. So Nate finishes his set and he's like, and now we're going to have a zoomed in guest set or whatever. 12 seconds.
Oh my God. Oh, you mean when they lower the screen? Oh no.
Yes.
Oh my God.
12 seconds of him just kind of riffing. And I'm just like, I don't have the camera on. And I pop out, I come back in.
Your head is just lowering down in front of the audience.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I turned the camera off the second night and got out of the frame and came into it. It was all incredibly dumb and super fun because they have the audience mic'd.
Yeah.
So I could hear the audience real time.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
It's not mic'd great. It's mic'd pretty good. And
for you, but it's mic'd fine for the live stand-ups, right?
No, it's mic'd for me. It's mic'd so that I can hear their laughs.
Okay, right.
It's playing into Zoom.
Yeah.
And he's got to crank it or something because it's not, it wasn't, I was like, just go to 11, man. Cause I want to hear, I just fucking.
I know. It's weird. Like, Chappelle got COVID, right?
Oh yeah.
And
shocking.
It was kind of predictable, I mean, I can't believe Grimes, who's Elon Musk's girlfriend, and a singer, she just had COVID and she went out and she hung out with people without wearing a mask. I mean, she hung out with people who were also not wearing a mask. Everyone's guilty is what I'm saying. But that was shocking. Like,
it's a pile of dummies. Well, and the thing is I genuinely get it because and the whole I feel like I've been very mature for 10 months. I don't wanna anymore. I just want to go out and lick things and hug people. I saw Carmen Morales today. She came to empty out her apartment and bring her stuff back to Florida.
Oh, wow.
Just because she works at the store, right? She doesn't have a day job here. She can't afford to be paying $1,700 a month in rent, right?
Jesus.
So, yeah. So she's just gonna go back to Florida and sock away some cash and grind it out like I'm doing, and then come back, But so she loaded up her aunt came with her. They're gonna drive straight from here to Florida.
Oh my God.
And once she gets to Florida, of course, isn't in lockdown. She can go out to lunch. She can do sets. She can do whatever she wants. But she isn't nuts, so she's not gonna. But I literally, today I was just like, I'm not gonna see my friend, right? It's like whenever I see, and I see every couple of weeks. I see you. And I think, she doesn't want to be
on my
anymore.
porch like a thief in the night, but you leave stuff. You're like a reverse thief.
I'm like a ninja, a manga ninja, where I leave. I would like to thank your son for asking for manga or enjoying manga, because then I ask my nephew for manga ideas, and I'm also reading the ones that I give to him.
Yeah,
it's great.
Series. Yeah.
Good. I bought the next 3. So
that's
I'm almost done with number 4. So I'll drop that off.
The anime isn't as good as the manga. So he's all in on the manga.
It's so funny because both anime and manga from Japan, in my limited experience, are so much about the food. It's so much. There's so much food in it. You gotta tell them.
Anime?
Do you ever watch Dragon Ball Z? Did you ever watch that with him?
What a hilarious thing to ask Laurie Kilmartin.
Dragon Ball Z?
If
She
she's
might
ever
have.
watched Dragon Ball Z.
She might have, because he might have been into it when he was little. But it's older. There's two things happening in Dragon Ball Z. One is a lot of food is being consumed sloppily, and then there's a lot of they fly up in the sky and growl at each other for like at least it's a 20-minute show, easily 14 minutes of just growling in the sky, and then.
Well, no, the anime we watch is a lot of emotional. It's very little eating. Like you almost go, guys, aren't you hungry? You've been fighting for days, from what I can tell. No water, nothing, not a sip.
What's the hat one? What's the one with the kid
One
with the
Piece.
hat? Oh, yeah.
What?
Piece.
One
What was
Piece.
it called?
The
One
kid with the
Piece.
hat.
I don't know.
One Piece. It's the one with the
Oh,
hat.
One Piece. Oh, yeah. Oh, that one's like almost 1,000 episodes long, and it just keeps going. We watched a couple, maybe like 100 or so, and then I needed a break.
Yeah, and there's some food in that one. But tell your son that I want you to that I think that you would enjoy them too. So make him lend you the first two, or the first one anyway.
Way to interfere with the mother-son relationship.
I know. Let me just get in there. I'm the meddler.
Well, I have two bits that attach onto other bits that maybe would have gone away because they kind of just, existed as small solo pieces, and it may be things that just would have floated away, but now I have other things hooking onto them, so maybe there'll be something.
Okay,
That's it.
I came up with a tidbit that went just a that could be huge all by itself, but I quite honestly don't want it to be. I don't want anything else huge right now, but it's and it's another, both of so I guess I have 3 new bits. I've got it's sort of a which is good, and they're all kind of personal, and they're all kind of they've got some chops to them and stuff.
What do you mean?
That there's potential. There's this whole thing I do about television, because this is what. So I've written this what I've just realized why I don't like sort of the bit I'm doing about what stuff I'm watching on television.
Yeah.
I opened for a guy once in the 90s
Mm-hmm.
who was so boring as a stand-up comic. He's a road comic. And we had this interesting conversation about, this is a guy, it's probably 1993, and he had been on the road for about 10 years solid, and he lived in LA, and I can't remember his name, which is a blessing, because he doesn't, well, it doesn't come out, he was,
I probably know him though.
well, you might have, but I'd
like to hate on him. I'd like to name.
I was swearing a little bit, and he was like,
oh no, one of those guys.
Yeah, and you can't. It was back in the day when you were told you had to be TV clean all the time, and
Right.
nobody wanted to hear women swear. Those were the two things, right? And the TV clean thing was so funny because he was like I write material that could only it's gonna be on Carson, it's gonna be on Leno, it's gonna be on the Tonight Show, and that's what you want because that's how you're gonna change your life.
Yeah.
And so this might have actually been 89 because it was so. When did Johnny Carson go off?
Ooh, early 90s.
So Johnny Carson was still on. This guy's dream was to be on Johnny Carson.
So wait, Conan got late night at in 93 because then Letterman left to go to CBS. So some 92, I think, right?
Okay, that's when Johnny Carson went off.
Yeah.
So he said, so you can't. I was like, So we had this interesting conversation about the kind of, if you live on the road, if you're a road comic, you have a choice. You can either write, you either have to figure out a third path, or your two easy paths are to write about partying and getting laid and the towns that you do.
Right.
Or
Drinking.
it was, yeah, sort of the drinking, the sort of the club life. You could do
Yes.
that, the road and club life. Or you could write about the stuff you're watching at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Right.
And he chose to write about the stuff he was watching at 3:00 in the afternoon. And it was so boring, and it was so mediocre, and it was mind-numbingly terrible. For me. The audience was okay with it. He was doing his job, right?
The audience too, by the way, they weren't doing much either but drinking. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
people didn't have, they didn't go off in their weird little directions at that point, like everyone is now, right? Like, at least comedy club audiences, they all felt like one person, you know,
Yeah.
like one couple, one white couple, you know, in their 30s, right? That was
Right,
going
in their
out.
late 20s, early 30s.
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
And
they're all
so
wearing Dockers. Ugh.
yeah, they kind of had the same sensibility, and so they maybe they weren't drinking as much as they used to, but they loved hearing about drinking because it reminded them of when they were young.
Right,
Loved-
right. Before they
loved
had that
comics
kid.
to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have that kid yet. But I will say this is that he decided that he wasn't going to pander to that. And so, and I was just doing weekends, right? I was doing one-nighters. I was doing one-nighter runs that would end in a two-nighter weekend all over the Midwest. And I remember doing it with him, and his stuff, I was like, I mean, I knew what he meant. He didn't want to be a guy who made the audience do shots with him, right?
Yeah.
But there had to be a third way. And so whenever I do that bit about Axel, there's part of me that's like, what are you doing talking about Axel? But it has a personal touch to it. I mean, that's the third way, right? The third way was to make it your own.
Yeah, Patton does that a lot. Patton Oswalt does that a lot. Like, he talks about pop culture stuff, but he sort of wraps himself into it, you know?
Exactly. Hey, let's do a break for Max Fun.
Okay.
And we did one. Look at us.
Because there were multiple club owners that were like dad figures, or they fashioned themselves as dad figures. And so when there was a female comic, I'm talking about myself, but maybe you too, where they were like, "Oh, honey, don't talk about that."
Yeah, no one.
Here's the thing. I love Scott Edwards. He ran a couple of clubs in Sacramento, but I had a blowjob joke that fucking killed, as they do. And he was like, Dad, don't do that. It was clean. There was no swear words in it. Okay,
Right.
Not even the word blowjob. All right, I wrote around the whole thing, but you knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And even that, I was like, "Oh, come on, honey, you're too sweet to do that."
You're too smart to do that, is what I got. You're you're too smart to do that. You got too nice to do that, which I think is an interesting twist. So
look how it all turned around.
And but I was too smart to write dick jokes, and I was like, but they love them. And if I write a smart dick joke, which is why I'm slightly obsessed with writing smart dick jokes.
Also, we're
fucked with our minds.
Yeah, we're entertainers in a nightclub. And this club started so that you could sell as many drinks as possible. It's not like you love comedy. You love selling shots and selling mixed drinks that are watered down. That's what you love. All right.
That one guy started a comedy club.
While you do it.
Yeah, that one guy started the comedy club so he could sell Coke.
Which one? I'm sure a lot of them did.
Oh, I'm sure it was a big one, but this is the one I'm remembering.
Oh,
Remember
well, we were talking about that those other clubs that I've heard were money laundering operations,
right.
because the owners are incredibly wealthy, and there's no fucking reason why they dabble with comedy, because they don't love it. They're not like hanging out or anything like that.
It's money laundering. I heard that that's what the Brady Street Club in Milwaukee was for years.
Oh,
But I don't know that that's true. But and it's gone, so that helps.
yes.
That helps that whole story. So, and but I will say that. So it's so interesting how those formative years of stand up can literally stunt you or help
Stunt you. Yes, I feel stunted from them. Even now when I'm on a show and there's like menstrual jokes in front of me, I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to do mine then, because the audience can't handle 2 in a row, you know? Although, I mean, I definitely, if I don't like to repeat the topic, you know, if I have something else on a different topic, I'd rather do that anyway. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's true. When somebody does come, unless I know it's better, and then I don't mind that they brought it up, and I could be like, Jim was talking about that, and then bam, and that is just fun for the audience, because it works sort of as a callback.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
and also you get to be a dick by saying I'm a better writer than you are.
Oh, I was on a show, and the MC was he was just new, one of the shows I did in the last couple of weeks, and he laughed at his own setups.
Ooh.
He apologized. Yeah. And then he would laugh at the setup, and then he would tell the setup, and then he would wait the punchline, then he would wait, then he would do a little bit of laugh again, and then he's like, and then he implied that they couldn't take it. And I was like, because the jokes weren't bad.
Right.
I just wanted him to tell them.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no reason to laugh at your own material. I mean, I get it. You are entertained by yourself. I do entertained by myself.
Jackie, we should all be our own favorite comics.
We better be our own favorite comics for sure. But it's a bit of a tell, is what I'm saying.
Oh, for sure. And I think if someone's new and obviously they've been doing virtual shows for 10 months, that's, at least we were stunted by sexist men and not by technology, because this is a weird way to start a stand-up career.
It very much is. Everyone's starting out there trying to do their art. Like watching on Uncabaret, everyone doing solos and sort of working with like I don't know what's it called? Like when you have a Casio and it makes all the other music.
A mix board?
Sure.
A sampler.
A sampler, yeah. So like Mitch plays the piano, and so he's got the sample of the rest of the band behind him. Mm-hmm. The saxophone guy needs a beat, so he's got samples of the drums. And Denise just completely played the bongos in the bathroom because it had the best acoustics. And then she picked up another percussion instrument and went. Remember that thing? The thing that makes that noise?
Yeah.
Slap.
What's it called?
The Vibraslap.
That's what it's called. Yeah. Kyle knows. So anyway, but it was so weird because I was like, musicians are even more screwed because they can't play together, It's hard it's because of the lag. You ever try to sing happy birthday to somebody on a Zoom call?
No, I'll tell you right now, not even off Zoom. I don't try to sing it at all. Enough with your fucking birthdays, people. We're grown-ups, for God's sakes.
Oh, yeah. It's Andy's birthday this very week. And
happy birthday.
Happy
I know people like to hear it.
I like the pause. Happy birthday. I have to say that I was like, what do you want to do? Because there is a fancy delivery company that'll or a fancy you pick it up company where you go. It's called Tock, Tock, I think. Mm-hmm. And It's mostly in Chicago, but they have a Los Angeles version. They have no other. I haven't found any other town, so I don't. But it automatically, the app goes to Chicago every time. So you have to type in Los Angeles, and then you can get the fanciest meal in the world for like, and it's expensive. It's and you have
you're saying like a birthday meal or something.
Yeah, I was thinking about
like a steak from I don't know, some New York steakhouse or something. Or
yeah, like a fancy steak or a fancy sushi dinner or a fancy Chinese dinner.
Peter Luger.
What?
Peter Luger's in New York.
Man.
No.
I miss diners.
Yeah. I just drove by a Magnolia Grill the other day.
Still my heart.
On the way to the dog park.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We don't have a dog yet. Stop emailing me. I love you all dearly. We're working on it. I wanted to just take the tree down first.
Sure.
And then we're just gonna, and he kind of wants a little dog. He doesn't, I know he doesn't want a big dog, and that's fine. But I wouldn't mind a medium-sized dog. But we're just gonna sit around a bunch of pound dogs, and the one that likes us, we're gonna take.
And that's easier to do up near your mother-in-law's, because I think it's really hard to do in LA. They want to come to your house, and it's COVID and stuff. Yeah. They want to check out your scene. Oh, they want to make sure you're not.
Let me tell you something about. Let me tell you about Tulare County. Yeah, they don't care.
They won't give you the dog unless you promise to fight it. They're a little.
They're like, did you vote for Nunez? And,
oh my God.
I tried to sign her up for the vaccine, and she keeps missing the window. She's like, I got an email yesterday.
I was trying to sign my friend up for the vaccine, and it's like, it's sold out.
It's sold out.
They should be 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's just nonstop until everyone in LA has it. I don't know if they take Saturdays and Sundays off, but it should be.
Or they ran out of them. Did
What?
you hear about the new needle? Did you hear about that the FDA okayed the 6th? Because there's 5 doses in every vial, but there's one specific kind of needle that can get a 6th dose out of the vial.
Oh, okay.
So the FDA okayed it a couple of days ago. And so that's an extra dose. But I don't know if California has enough doses. I know that, Biden's shoveling as fast as he can to get us back to 2015. The horrible things that we had to fix in 2015 that we're just trying to get back to there.
I feel like it's going to be longer than we had hoped when we heard about the vaccines.
Yeah.
And, because you're going to have to have I guess you have to have 70% of the population vaccinated before it's like real herd immunity and we're all good. And I think right now we're at 1%.
That's brutal. Are we at 1%?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds, that's the gift that keeps on giving, Captain Knobjob. Holy smokes, that guy's a piece of shit.
I just hope my son can go to school next year. I think he needs to be in school with kids his age. He's doing okay. Like a lot of kids are struggling. And I just read this article about the Las Vegas school district. They want to reopen. They've had like 18 suicides this year from, look like kids down to 9 years old, just, whatever the financial stress that's happening at home or maybe the parents are working, they're out of the house all the time, so
it's
the
just
kids
heartbreaking.
It's awful. So that's not happening here, but still it takes a toll. They need to be around kids. They can't be around grownups all the time. It's just not normal.
Right. It's
high school, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Start high school kind of normal.
Yeah. He has to have something to regret. So high school. Pain in the ass that is. Yeah. We sat in the backyard, Darla and her partner and the kids all masked up.
Time?
Well, we I think they're having an okay time. They're doing pretty good. They got the pool and they got I went and I got takeout, or they got takeout, and so we had 2 tables. Andy and I sat at the kids' table, and the 4 of them sat at our other outside. Whenever our neighbors die or move, they give us their lawn furniture, because Andy knows everyone.
Right. Maybe when they move, right? When they die,
When they
wouldn't
move,
need-
when they die, we know them, they're kids too, and so, and when I say we, Andy, and so, we have a lot of furniture in our backyard, so everybody can have their own kind of setup. When people come over, they can be, a good 10 feet away and have a full table and.
Yes. What I'm saying is, when are we going to use the audio equipment that is taking up 90% of my garage?
It was so big. It was
I
bigger
can't believe it's that much stuff, because I think you brought one box over. I'm like, this isn't bad. What's she complaining about? And then it was like, oh, it's gigantic. The second box.
Right, the second box is the kicker. There's the tower box, then there's the square box or the rectangle box, and then that other little box is just a mic stand. You should totally just use that
kept
for
it all
these
in the
guys.
boxes. I don't want to lose it or smash it or anything like that.
All right, well, let's take another break for Max Fun.
Okay.
And we did.
Hey, we didn't do comic of the week yet.
Oh, let's do Comic of the Week.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just worked with her, right?
Alexandria Love.
Mm-hmm.
She was so funny. We did a game show together, and I was like, she's got to be hilarious.
Yes.
And so I went, and it's at Alex from Oakland.
Oh, she's from Oakland. Cool.
AlexFromOakland. Alex from Oakland. And so she was hilarious on the game show. And so I looked her up, and I watched her do something called Filthy Haiku show, like a roast kind of battle.
Yeah.
It was a battle, and she just completely pawned this guy, man. It was insane. She was like,
Oh, that's cool.
and so she's really, it's great. Alex, so find her, Alex.
Alexandria Love. That's awesome.
Alexandria Love, Alex from Oakland. Find
She
her.
must be like 10 comedy generations away from me in terms of San Francisco and stuff, Isn't it weird? Like the next generation comes, but you're still there. And then maybe you leave town for whatever reason. And then there's new people that never met you. And then it's like, then they're the grandpas, those people. And you're just like someone they can't believe is still alive.
I go back to Minneapolis often enough that I meet the new generations to some extent.
Yeah.
But not the new generations. Like, I don't know the sort of the up and coming micers,
Right.
And because if I can, I like to get there on a Monday, but I don't have a hotel on a Monday because the show started on a Tuesday. So I'd have to pay for the beautiful town suites by myself.
Wait, you're going to pay for a hotel room to watch an open mic? Jackie, that's not the Jackie I know.
Well, that's why it doesn't happen.
No.
But if I had to come in for some reason, for a family reason, and I for some reason was staying over the Monday, I always go to the mic. I always go to the open mic, and mostly for the set. But I do get to meet people then.
It is a little more relaxing. You can watch the show a little bit. I hate being like, oh, I'm not going to watch anything, but I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember my act, or I'm trying to figure shit out, or I'm exhausted from traveling or whatever. And so I like, if you're headlining it, all the pressure's on you. Everyone else can do whatever they want up front, and it's fine. So yeah, sometimes when you're just doing a dumb little set, you can do it and then just watch and chill, and that's nice.
Right. It always fascinated me that Regan wanted to go to a club and watch the whole show. And I was like at a table? And he was like, yeah. And then we'll get drinks and we'll sit there, we'll watch some comedy. And I'm like, all right, let's do it, man.
Wow. So he would do that the night before, like his
after his show, he'd go watch the second show. And saw some good comedy. And also saw some comedy. And it wasn't bad. I mean, it was just not amazing. Like we saw some great shows, and we saw some just okay, good shows, right?
But I guess, he doesn't meet other comics,
Right.
because
He wants-
he just has his opener and then he just goes on the road by himself. So he doesn't
he
get a
wants
chance
to
to do
hang.
other
Yeah.
comics.
Right. And when I open for him, I'm such a fucking buzzkill.
Yeah.
So
You really are. I could have told him that.
he's like, yeah, you're a great comic. Anyway, let's go find some real comics who want to maybe have at least one adult beverage. Oh, you made a candle.
Listen,
That's a huge candle.
this is okay. So I got a couple candles before the holidays, and I realized I fucking love candles, right? I told you this, right?
Yeah.
And so, but they started, melting weirdly. Like there were 3 wicks, and 2 wicks would take, and 1 wick wouldn't, and it would get buried, and so they would turn into these weird shapes, and then I couldn't use them anymore. But I tried to be into candles like 10 years ago, and I got these 2 giant ones from IKEA, these jars. And I just left them outside, and they got full of leaves, and they were so gross. I didn't know what to do with them. So I just left them there. And then I was like, wait a minute. What if I melt these misshapen candles together and I pour them in, I clean this jar out and I pour the new candles in, and I bought some wicks on Amazon, and
That was my question.
I'm so proud of this beautiful red candle.
So it is lit right now.
Yes, it is.
And
carry
does
it
the
with
wick
me.
what?
I carry it around the house with me, so I'm always near a flame.
And so that's so beautiful. Here's my question. Does the wick go far enough down though, do you think?
Yeah, they sell long wicks.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. And there's like this little sticky thing, you stick it at the bottom. It's pretty easy. It's just melting the wax and pouring it in and letting it set.
How did you melt the wax? I know this is compelling narrative, but I actually do want to know this.
No, I know. Microwave. The thing was the old wax in this jar that got all dirty and gross. What I had to do is boil water, pour it into the jar, and the wax, a little layer of it and some dirt would rise to the top, and you just leave it there, and then you can take that disc of wax fat out. And I had to do it like 8 times because there were so many layers of grossness there. But once I did, it was just this clean, beautiful jar. I got 2 of them. I'm making an orange candle with some other remains and, in the kitchen, but I got this one going. I'm so excited.
It's crafty. It's crafty Kilmartin. Who knew? Who knew that you had a crafter in you?
I know.
Oh, damn it.
What?
You ever look down at a piece of paper and I'm making notes on this piece of paper, but there's this other piece of paper, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to do that joke. Shit.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm sitting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, where are we at?
We are at 52. 8 more minutes.
So we have a live show on the 1st, February 1st.
Oh yeah.
A Zoom show at Flappers. That'll be really fun.
Cool.
We booked it a while ago, and I've already forgotten the lineup from head to toe, but it's a really good show for very strong comics.
Good news. We wrote it down somewhere. It's going to be great. February 1st, you guys.
February 1st. I'm going to do Tammy's outdoor show on Saturday. The Friday show. Yeah, this Friday, I guess there's going to be torrential rain in Los Angeles this week. And so the Friday show is canceled. But the Saturday show isn't, so I'm going to do live stand-up comedy.
I thought that there was COVID there.
There's COVID everywhere, Jackie.
I know, but I thought she had to shut it down because there was some people got sick. Anyway.
Really? I didn't hear that. I mean, it's an outdoor show.
It's an outdoor show, but and this they told me this. And
okay.
I had to cancel. So, but
I'm a triple masking, and
you're safe, and you're gonna and what I like about Tammy's show is that she swaps out the mics entirely, like mic stand. Essentially, you get your own mic stand and mic and cord, and then you put that on the side, and then whoever's doing that wipes it all down, and the next person. I may would just wear a mask forever, by the way.
Yeah, I think for a while, even like part of me is like, I just want to fast forward to 5 years from now. My kid's out of high school. I'm doing one-nighters in Europe barely paying my bills, but I'm happy. I'm a scrappy new comic again in a new continent, Fuck.
I love that picture. That's a vision board of a statement
Heaven.
right there.
It is. I just want to, cover my net like I did when I first started.
Right.
When I'm done with all my obligations to my son, but I'm sure I'll never be done with that. But
Right. You'll still want to hang. So
oh, I want to hang, but in terms of like paying for everything and having to save up and just be, prudent and make more than I need, I'd like to
Right.
return to a little tiny life in a little studio apartment in Paris and then just take the metro, take the train to all my gigs.
Yeah.
And then come back
could
to my
do it.
little apartment and eat baguettes and drink coffee.
Oh, God,
For
that
like a year or two, that's it. Then I'll come back here and die. I don't want to die in Europe. I want to die in America.
All right. It's yeah, I don't know. I genuinely just want to go to Nat's Early Bite. I just
wanna
want to
go
to the
where?
Nat's Early Bite. I want to go to Magnolia Grill. I want to go off to
yeah.
Uncle Bernie's over in Encino. I want to. I just want a bagel with lox on it and just refill my coffee. I don't know. I went to Uncle Bernie's day before yesterday, before we went up to visit my mother-in-law, because both her and Andy enjoy, wait for it, liverwurst. Once a year, they like a liverwurst sandwich.
I've never had liverwurst. It was such a Johnny Carson punchline. I don't think I ever tried it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I don't think it was made for you, Kilmartin. But I think you should try it. And if you read the Golden Kamuy, am I saying it right? How is your son saying the manga that I've given him?
I don't know. He doesn't speak to me.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
I got a still photo from you with him with the book.
That was high respect. I mean, his eyes weren't open. They never are in pictures. But that was the fact that he even posed was pretty impressive.
That's great. I'm glad. It's spelled Ka, I think Muy, and but the thing is there is so much weird food in it. That's really why I want you to read it, because I want you to read because it's essentially about a Japanese soldier and a young Ainu girl who, and the Ainu are essentially the Inuit of northern.
Oh yeah.
Japan. And the Ainu food and the Japanese food, and it's pretty great. I mean, and a bear eats a guy's face, so I mean, that's why he likes it. But it's good times, anyway. But we'll drop the next one off, and we'll shout from your yard and try to talk to him about how much we're enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching anime outside with my friend.
Oh, okay.
And we bring like we have
Blankets?
an air purifier. What?
Blankets. It's so
Well,
freaking.
yeah, everything. I mean, yeah, not this week, but I mean, I think you can be outdoors with people if you're masked, sitting
for
far
sure.
apart.
Yeah.
You don't have to throw a book on my porch and then run into your car and text me from the 134. You can be a little closer.
I think I was on the phone with my dad, which is why which is because he painted 2 more paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was a unicorn. This woman wanted a unicorn, and my dad had done a unicorn with the they're all on the Instagram, you guys. But the unicorn is he did a unicorn for the castle one that he did, and he just did a basic unicorn. She just wanted that basic unicorn, the woman who bought but he's been working on this thing with because he's always drawn unicorns. So this story anyway, but he's always wanted to do a unicorn, which is just a horse with a horn, obviously, right? Why? Mm-hmm. But he wanted to do it where the horn was pointing down. Well, you have to draw the horse kneeling to do that, and he's never gotten that right. So this unicorn was super cartoony looking, and the flowers behind the unicorn were outstanding. It was a poppies field.
Yeah.
And And then the other one he did was the St. Louis Arch with a paddle boat because somebody wanted they wanted the arch. They wanted the or arc.
Nice.
Is it an arch? I think it's an arch.
Yes, it is an arch. I worked on my novel, I'd say 5 out of the 7 days of the last week. So I've just, my thing is you just have to start reading what you wrote. And if that's all you do, that's all you do. But I always start writing when I start reading. It's like getting myself to the pool. It's like, once I've got my swimsuit on, it's over. But the putting my suit on is what can take 2 hours.
This analogy is great, but how are you getting yourself to write?
Because I have like this Evernote doc, right?
Okay.
I just start writing little ideas, little things about the characters or little couplets or little scenes. I think I'm writing it kind of like how you write a spec script. I'm just writing scenes and then I'll kind of start to figure them out later. But like I have scenes that I have them on my little cards on my wall here.
Okay.
And so I have a little an hourglass that my son used to use for piano practice, and it's a half hour. And ideally I open up my document and I start reading it, and I do it until the sand runs out, which is just 30 minutes. But I don't have to write the whole time. Like I can just read. Like I try to make it as much of a don't worry, you don't have to write thing as possible, so that I might accidentally start writing something. And then that's how it's going to be coming out of me.
I love it.